Hello, I'm Don Mooers, and welcome to Montgomery Week in Review. The Committee for Montgomery's mission is to support the needs of the county to the state of Maryland. Ray Sherbill, the chairman of Committee for Montgomery, will explain the issues the organization has adopted for the upcoming 2016 session of the Maryland State Legislature. The universities at Shady Grove will be adding a fourth building at the Montgomery County campus. Karen Nichole from the universities will tell us about this rapidly expanding college program. At this time of the year, people tend to look for ways to serve the community, even for a short-term project that their friends and their families can conduct. Nichole Land from Interfaith Works has some suggestions for us. Concussions are dangerous, both for young people as well as those who are going into their adulthood and beyond. Henry Hailstock, who comments regularly for this program, is here to explain. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Congratulations on chairing the Committee for Montgomery. What a great responsibility, awesome responsibility.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Committee for Montgomery.
Perfect.
We're a board. We're really a coalition of 40 members of the community, broadly representative of labor,
right,
business, education, community service, nonprofit organizations. And what we try to do is we have meetings. We're advised at these meetings by the state legislative leaders from our county, Rich Madalino, Craig Zucker, and others.
Right.
And we try to build consensus around things that will make Montgomery County better. And then we advocate around those issues in Annapolis.
So working in partnership with our delegation in large are there some differences between what the committee wants to do and sometimes what our delegation wants to do?
Sometimes there is, absolutely. I mean, we are broadly representative of the community, and for one thing, we try to always have 85% of our membership behind certain initiatives in order for us to advocate for them. And a lot of times our legislative leadership doesn't necessarily get that out of the county.
You mentioned that's the key. Isn't 85% kind of hard to get consensus out of over 40-some members on the board?
Yes, Henry. I mean, we're a broad organization. The idea is everybody represents one group or another, a certain constituency, but we're not advocating as we're serving as members of the organization for our narrow constituency. We're advocating for where we can bridge issues and what we can do together, where we have common.
Before we go any further, there's a website that where people can learn more about the Committee for Montgomery.
Very easy to find. It's called Committee for Montgomery. Just spell it out, committeeformontgomery.org.
Okay, real quick, and I know people have got questions. You have 4 issues that you want to raise, 4 primary issues raising for the state legislature for this year.
That's correct. We've worked the first part of the year, we work on developing what our priorities are. And our highest priority is to create a commission around voter engagement, because we really have to involve the entire community more in voting. So we think that creating a broad range commission will really help us.
Number 1.
Second, economic development. The Augustine Commission is going to be coming out with recommendations around tax reform this year. They came out with recommendations that were largely implemented last year. We have county initiatives going towards privatizing economic development, regulatory reform in the governor's office and in the legislature. So around those issues, education, supporting our local education organizations.
I'm happy about that.
Universities at Shady Grove, of course, Montgomery College, they need constant support, and also our K through 12 education, and looking at those formulas and making sure education is fully funded, and then also other issues around workforce development and making sure everybody has the opportunity to work in this county. And then a third issue is really around transportation, infrastructure. That's quite important as well.
And is there a 4th one?
There is a 4th one.
No, that's okay.
I think you did 4.
Well, I think I did 4.
You did
Both
4.
economic development, education, and transit.
I lost. I know let's count. I apologize. What are you going to be doing? Is looking ahead. We've got the Committee for Montgomery breakfast. What a wonderful
one of the things that we try to do is we try to kind of lead thought in the community. And our major fundraiser each year is our annual legislative breakfast, which kicks off the legislative session in Annapolis. It's always
So
very well attended.
Sure.
Last year was Governor Hogan, his first speech in Montgomery County, substantively
It's a
after
great
being
event.
elected. This year, we have a great panel of County Executive Ike Leggett, County Executive Rashawn Baker from Prince George's County, and Mayor Muriel Bowser. And all of them, the heads of the 3 major jurisdictions, are going to be together on a panel talking about how we work together on regional economic development.
You know, I've gotten a lot out of the breakfasts over the years, and I think this one will be more exciting than anything else because we're talking about 3 jurisdictions that have similar and diverse thoughts on that. One of the things I wanted to ask you is what are you looking for them to bring out in the breakfast itself?
Well, one thing is how we can cooperate better, and from our perspective, how Montgomery County can be a fuller participant in regional economic development efforts. Prince George's County, the District of Columbia have been doing a lot together. There's a lot of times where we haven't necessarily been at that table. So this is an opportunity for us to get together. And also we should be talking about other initiatives such as transportation. You know, we're now
Obviously
have the
crosses.
benefit of the Purple Line, and that kind of forms, if you will, kind of a heart of Washington with the orange line, the red line, and the purple line above connecting these 3 jurisdictions.
We've got just about 30 seconds left. Thoughts as you look ahead to the 2016 legislative session? Confident? We got a Republican governor, Democratic legislature. What do you see happening for Montgomery County's
It will
agenda?
not be boring. It clearly will not be boring. I mean, the governor has not really been fully open about what his priorities will be. We do have the redistricting commission from the governor. We do have regulatory reform. And then we also have kind of surprises coming out, possible surprises from the Augustine Commission around tax reform. So there are a lot of very substantive issues on the table. We'll have to react quick.
I guess the bottom line is stay tuned.
Absolutely.
We'll stay tuned.
Cool.
Thanks,
you.
Ray. Great
Thanks.
job. Karen, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Don.
The university's at Shady Grove. You are the COO.
That's right.
So you keep everything working. You're the bad cop, good cop at
Yeah,
times.
if anybody has a complaint, it comes usually my way.
Well, tell us a little bit. The lead was about this 4th building at USG. Maybe just tell us briefly, maybe 30 seconds, what USG is, and then a little bit about why this is so exciting.
Yeah, USG is a very unique model for providing higher education. It's one of the few in the country, and we're really leading the way in alternate methods, I think, of providing higher ed. It's traditional campuses are big, but they're not for everyone, and there needs to be some other ways for folks to get their degree. So in 2000, Shady Grove started by bringing programs from throughout the state of Maryland from the public universities. Right now we have 9 of the 11 degree granting institutions within the university system of Maryland. They come to Shady Grove and offer those highly popular degrees, usually tied into economic development, the jobs that people want to hire in the region. We bring them to Rockville in Shady Grove campus, and our students can take their classes there without ever having to go to the home campus. They get the degree from that home campus. They're taught by instructors from that home campus. But we as a regional higher education center provide all of that infrastructure and support, as well as services for students that make them so successful.
All right, so perfect. So you're living in Montgomery County. You're commuting up to universities at Shady Grove, and you're getting your degree from St. Mary's. You're getting your degree from
College Park,
Frostburg.
UMB, UMES. I'll
Right.
probably, if I name them all, I'll miss the
No, that's okay. We don't need to do that. But all from public universities across state.
public universities.
4th building. What is this 4th
Yeah,
building?
this
all
is the 4th building is really exciting because it's going to be a building that has a lot of labs in it. As you know, we're in a really high-tech biotech section of the country, and that's where a lot of the economic development activity is going to come in the next few years. So while we can provide right now, we provide over 80 degree programs from those 9 different institutions.
No, I'm going to interrupt you because there's a website that you can go to,
Okay.
and then we'll so people can follow as you're talking about this.
Great. If you go to ShadyGrove.umd.edu, you can see everything about the programs, all the institutions. You can also see about this fourth building and the project that's really exciting to bring more tech STEM programs. When we talk about STEM in higher ed, science, technology, engineering, math, and medical sciences. So we'll be bringing.
There we go.
So we'll be able to bring programs in dentistry or in other biotech, bioengineering, mechanical engineering, any of those sorts of disciplines, because we'll be able to build those labs in this new building. It's a really exciting building. It's 220,000 square feet. It's a big building. There'll be lots of high-tech classrooms with different alternate methods of learning, more group work, more computer work, not just lecturing at students now, more active learning, and these fabulous labs that'll come in to actually allow us to provide those degrees that the employers in the region are telling us that they need, either for new employees or to send their existing employees back for more education.
Sounds exciting.
You know, what I've seen
Very exciting.
over the years is that universities of Shady Grove have been reaching out to the private sector, not just the government, but the private sector, to help develop the students and all. So one of the things I wanted to know, have they improved on the internships and work development?
We've got about a minute and a half left in this.
Absolutely. We have a Career and Internship Services Center that's fully functioning now and works really closely to get students. We find that experiential learning is one of those things that students don't go. And when we hear employers say, we need those 21st century work skills, we need business skills, people to be able to work in a business and be work ready. And those are the types of things that we're working to get folks internships if they can, paid, unpaid, get them mentoring or job shadowing, or get them more involved with the working community so that they're ready day one to go out and get a job.
You sound excited. I mean, great,
Oh yeah.
great things happening. Students coming in, are you finding evolving needs for the students?
Exactly. We're at about 4,000 students now. This new building will be able to take us up to about 7,500 students. So we'll really be a huge presence in, and the majority of our students either live or work in Montgomery County in the region. And so we're providing that service. They don't have to drive to Baltimore or around the Beltway or, you know, to the Eastern Shore to get a degree. They can get it right here at
And
Shady
I think
Grove.
that's definitely a great benefit at the University of Shady Grove. Speaking as an alumni, and I also share on the board with Karen as well.
Exactly.
I attended Montgomery College, which was local. I attended Richard Montgomery High School. So being able to go to the Universities of Shady Grove was a huge convenience. And I got the opportunity to see a virtual tour of this fourth building, and I can say it's amazing. I love it.
You're amazing. It's amazing. What an amazing first half. Look forward to the second half coming up. We'll be right back after these messages. And we're back. Nichole, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Our third first timer in a row, so it's
Yes.
exciting.
Very exciting.
So Interfaith Works, tell us a little bit about what you do there and kind of an overview. Even though we've had Interfaith Works here on so many times, it's always good to go and describe all the great work that you guys are doing.
Absolutely. So I work in the Office of Development at Interfaith Works, and I deal a lot with our constituents. My actual title is Constituent Relations Assistant, so I get to interact with our clients and our donors and our volunteers a lot. And this is a very special time for us at Interfaith Works. It's a busy time, but it's also a great time as we gear up for our holiday giving. And so there are many ways that people in the community can help out those that we serve at Interfaith Works this time of year.
Well, tell us a little bit about some of the projects that people can be involved in. And these are as individuals, with families, friends. Are there any
As all,
parameters on this?
we will accept volunteers as individuals, as groups, as families as well. And there are 3 specific ways that people can give back this year that we try to make simple for people. So one of the ways people can give back and assist is through our holiday Create a Shoebox program. And so what individual can do is to get a shoebox, wrap it, and fill it with essential needs for those in our community.
Okay.
For instance, toiletry, soaps, shampoos, combs, toothbrushes, toothpaste.
Okay.
all in travel size we like to keep in mind, because
Okay.
some people don't have places to store these things. So we want to keep it small and simple, but convenient and fun for people who like to create these.
Okay.
Another way people can assist is to create a holiday basket.
Right.
You can get a laundry basket or a big basket of some sort and fill it with essential foods for the holiday to create a holiday meal. Turkey, or you can give a gift card for a meat of their choice, stuffing, mac and cheese, rice,
Okay.
potatoes, and we have all those things listed out on our website.
Okay.
You go to www.iworksmc.org and click on Holiday Giving 2015. You
Okay.
can see a list of how you can help
Perfect.
this season.
Okay, so there's two, and then we've got another one. I mean, they can do, or they
Yes.
could do the
So
gift
if,
card.
if
Right.
they don't want to do those two things,
Right.
creating a basket or a shoebox,
Right.
they can help us do that by making a donation. And we can go out and purchase these things as well for people in need.
Now, why Interfaith Works? I mean, we heard your wonderful discussion earlier about having graduated from the University of Shady Grove and
Yes.
and having graduated from Montgomery
Montgomery
College
College.
and being a rocket as well from Richard
Absolutely.
Montgomery, a rocket.
Yes.
Okay. So what brought you to Interfaith Works?
Yes, I specifically sought out Interfaith Works for personal reasons. Growing up, I was actually a client of Interfaith Works, me and my family. So I can personally say that we received holiday baskets, we received clothing from the clothing center, and when I graduated the University of Maryland, I specifically wanted to work in nonprofits, in a nonprofit that I was affected by in Montgomery County. So Interfaith Works was one of the places that I chose, and I'm so happy to be working on the other side of it now.
So give it back.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Now, your job involves development and community relations and all that stuff. What a little bit of the full spectrum of what Interfaith Works will be looking like for the holiday season. What do you see? I mean, is it really exciting around the office
It's
right now?
very exciting. It's very busy. Volunteers who are essential to the work we do are very important. And so I've been able to assist with volunteer coordinations. And we have thousands of volunteers, over 5,000 volunteers that work with Interfaith Works. So it's wonderful to see so many people wanting to do so many great things. And so a part of my job is to help coordinate them, to meet their needs so that they're having a wonderful volunteer experience, but also meeting the needs of the people we serve as well.
Is there a first-time orientation for individuals or groups who want to volunteer?
Absolutely. So the first step to volunteer at Interfaith Works is to go to our website and click on our link to volunteer. We list all the information through our application process about what is available. And we have a wide array of different volunteer activities. So depending on your interests and your needs, we will work with you to coordinate that volunteer experience.
Nichole, I'm always amazed when I go to the Interfaith Works breakfast and see all of the things
Yes.
that Interfaith Works does. But there's metrics around it. You touch so many people in the county. Could you
Absolutely.
say a little bit about that? Because it really is amazing, and then you hear the personal stories.
We've got 45 seconds.
Sure. So Interfaith Works actually affects over 20,000 people each year in the county through different things. We have multiple shelters. We have a vocational program, which I'm very interested to hear your help with vocational as well. We have a clothing center where we provide free clothing to people in need. And we also have a program called Project Inform. Well, if people come to us in need, we have a list of different services throughout the county where they can get help as well. So we're interacting with many people on many different levels. And if we don't personally provide that service, we have a list of organizations that can provide that service.
Looking at that camera right there, in 10 seconds, give your pitch about why they should volunteer. People should volunteer for Interfaith Works.
Absolutely. Volunteers at Interfaith Works are the core of how we can continue to do what we do every day. So we depend greatly on the generous donors and the generous volunteers to help us stay afloat. And our goal is to support our neighbors in need.
Perfect. Thank you, Nichole.
Thank you.
Amazing.
We go from the rooks to the veteran here. And the veteran talking about concussions. So you've been a little bit too long of a veteran. Henry Hailstock, welcome back. It's always great to have you here.
It's great to be here too. It really is. And the one thing that we're going to be talking about is concussions, head traumas. And believe it or not, head traumas early in a person's life can manifest itself into people who are turning 50. And we have to look at that. Scientists divide this into two categories: transient injuries, which really subsides within 7 to 10 days, and then you have the more serious chronic trauma, which be long-term for individuals.
And is it more on the chronic long-term? Is that from repeated concussions, or can you get it from just a single event?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because really it can be from a single, or it can be over multiple.
Sure.
I guess the key is that if you early in life had a traumatic brain injury that you lost consciousness, more than likely you may be getting to see some forms of it later in life as a senior. Wow. Seniors, starting with 50 and beyond, seem to have this, delayed short-term memory,
sure.
And other things that really cause problems in making decisions and really having judgmental implications in this.
And is that more likely to come if you've had that long-term effect or multiple injuries then?
Yes, and really, it's always connected to professional athletes and athletes in general. And I'm concerned primarily with the athletes because, you not only football, but you have basketball, you have field hockey,
soccer,
you also rugby. All those injuries you can.
I think ice hockey, hitting the ice as well as crashing into the.
Oh, absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Can affect you in the long run.
My daughter played basketball through high school and college, and had a couple of concussions that came from that in the league. So it happens.
And unfortunately, it's not limited to athletes, because you can receive this ailment basically if you've had physical abuse. Car accident, or even some type of multiple falls, and you can be susceptible to CTE, and CTE is chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which happens later in life.
Is that Muhammad Ali? Was that Muhammad Ali's?
Somewhat, yes, somewhat that led to Parkinson's, yes.
Yeah. So how does this new information, or will this new information change the look of sports, for instance, for students?
It's been doing that. If you notice over the last few years, just us football veterans who had chronic ailments with concussions, because back in the day they tell you, okay, how many fingers do I have? I have up in there. Go back in.
Yeah.
You notice now that what they do is somebody had a head-to-head contact. They'll take them out and have a doctor on hand on sidelines that will basically go through this testing to make sure that you are able to go back in. I forgot the game this past Sunday. The quarterback had a head concussion, and he didn't want to go out, but the doctor took him out, did the testing and everything, kept him out for a while, and eventually he passed all the testing and let him back in. Other times they they'll take your helmet and they'll make you take off your pads. So you
Is there anything to be done at the schools, at our local schools?
Well, I'll give you an idea. About 7 or 8 years ago, they made sure that they had EMAs at all of the football games, so that they can take care of the injuries, particularly the concussions. They have strict regulations on how to deal with someone that had possible concussions. They've also basically taught, say in football, how they are to tackle. There's no more the head spearing or anything else, and which is very good. Fortunately, I had a coach that taught that early on, both in high school and in college, and that's very important. But also, just remember that it doesn't, I say may, or it could be, and not that it definitely will, because some people go through life all right, and they won't have the short-term problem.
We've got 30 seconds left. National Football League Players Association, you're a member of the NFLPA and the Alumni Association. Are you involved at all in studies? Are they looking at folks who played?
They are. They do. I haven't personally been involved, but they are doing that now. And let me just say that it is not, something that is definite. Please get active. Read, study, do puzzles, interact with people.
That's it.
And also, do exercise.
Henry, thank you very much. That's all the time we got. Thank you all for being here today with me. And thank you and the viewing audience for joining us for this week's edition of Montgomery Week in Review. I'm Don Mooers, and I invite you to join us next week at this very same time.